can you have an AI that pursues one thing until you press a button and then pursues a different thing instead? And for purposes of illustrating the underlying problem, you can imagine that one goal is, like making paper clips, whatever. And the other goal is shut yourself down. Fold up what you're doing in an orderly fashion. Like shut down the results of previous plans, but not in a way where you then take over the entire world to make all the to like erase all evidence that you ever existed or something. And we didn't have a specification of a shutdown function. We're rather saying, like, suppose you could describe how to shut an AI down. What does the button look like? It was like the smallest possible change you might want to make. Just switch from one utility function to another. And the issue was, that's not super easy to describe. The issue is that what if, for example, shutting down is easier than what the AI was otherwise trying to do? What if it's easier to get like an A+ on shutting yourself down than get an A+ on making paper clips? Then you perhaps have an incentive to press your own shutdown button. Okay, you say, give it less utility from shutting down. Then it has a chance then it wants to prevent you from pressing the shutdown button. So the question we were addressing is something like, is there a self-consistent view into the AI's preferences, where it doesn't want you to press the button that swaps its utility function, where it doesn't want you to press the button that shuts it down. It doesn't want to prevent the button from being pressed. It doesn't, if it rewrites itself, it will rewrite itself in a way where the button is still there. If it thinks about its own operation, it will not be alarmed by the button's existence, but rather think that the button is supposed to be there. A reflectively consistent meta-utility function that allowed for entering one bit of information that would switch between two object-level utility functions. And the point of this is not necessarily that AI plays out in a way where you can pre-program the utility function that way. You can also imagine that you would have a modern deep learning-based AI where you're trying to train it to let you shut it off. And the thing we were looking at is there a compact mathematical description of what a self-consistent, coherent mind looks like when it will let you swap utility functions, where it will let you shut it off, where it will let you train it, where it will let you further specify the utility function, not try to stop you from doing that, or take away the utility function modifier unit to give itself a utility function that's easy to modify. You can give a simple description of what that looks like. Then when you're training the AI, you could check. You would first of all be trying to train something that was simple, so maybe it generalizes correctly, that fits in with the rest of it, so maybe it generalizes along with the intelligence. You cannot, without greatly improved technology, look in and see if it actually learned that thing, but you would know how to generate new weird example cases to check if it was generalizing correctly. And this is all just meta on a level where I think a lot of people just flatly did not understand what we were trying to do and thought we were trying to program some AI whose logic was as simple as the logic we were checking to see if it described a reflectively consistent utility function that had a modification button on it. They were like, oh, like good old-fashioned AI, you're trying to do AI with logic, right? And we're like, no, we're trying to find a structure that could be learned, even as... We didn't phrase it as well at the time. Deep learning hadn't blown up to quite the same extent. But the thing we were trying to do was not like build a logical AI, it was understand the logic that you were trying to get into an AI, including maybe a deep learning-based AI.